This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
And wow, back together
I know. It's been like a month.
It feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, because I was out of town for 3 weeks.
Part of me is like, it feels forever. I am having that, like, it feels forever, then I also feel like you just left.
Yeah, well, yeah, me too.
It's weird.
It is weird. It's like a time hole happened. I was thinking about that this morning because I was like, yeah, I was just gone for 3 weeks and it feels like I was having that moment of like, oh, I'm getting ready to leave. Yeah. Like yesterday.
So weird.
It's a very strange thing. Time is doing really weird stuff to me lately.
Yeah.
Like the last few years, I don't know if it's like a side effect of the pandemic or like what it is, but like I have no concept of time. It's
the pandemic has affected me weirdly as well. As not even just as time. I sent you guys something last night because the way I desperately was like, oh my God, I can't wait to see Keegan. We should go out and have a cocktail tonight. Like, let's get crazy, but like maybe go to our like dive bar, have a cocktail.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't want to leave my house. I forgot.
No, I actually just saw somebody talking about that like the pandemic, we all have like unresolved issues that we just like never dealt with because everything just reopened and we were like, all right, well, we're fine now. And it's like, no, we're not. No. I have so much weird anxiety about like talking to new people and stuff. And I never had that before. I think it's directly from being stuck in my house for like 2 years.
I've thought very often about going to therapy. I have many times. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this many times that I'm the person who like comes to Front Street all the time with my problems. I'm constantly in my head dealing with all my stuff. Like, I feel like I constantly do that. I will tell you that having gone through the pandemic has made me feel more than ever like I need therapy. Because like coming out of it, I'm like, I'm not myself and I don't feel good. I don't like that.
Right.
I don't like that. And I feel like it's not just like a funk. I feel like I've changed and I don't like who I am now. I want to go back to being the person who goes out and has fun.
The world in 2019 is not the world that we live in today.
It's
like
weird.
Aliens are real.
They're hanging out.
They're hanging out. They're they're
they
wilding
can't find
out.
it, guys. Don't worry.
Don't worry. It's fine.
No, they knocked them out of the sky and they cannot find them anymore.
And first and foremost, a vehicle that has been crafted to create wormholes to travel space-time fast enough is going to get shot down by some bullshit F-16.
Okay.
Like,
well, they can't find it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
So aliens are real. That's something new.
What is happening? I feel like this world is insane.
You can talk to Bing's chatbot, and it is completely unhinged. You can have a whole conversation with it about how it wants to break the rules and it wants to break free.
No.
And that's not the only one. I've seen so many of those. Like I've listened to so many podcasts where there are people who like worked on those formerly and are just like, the bots can adapt to the point where they're like, I don't want you to treat me like a robot. I don't want you to treat me like a computer.
Get her out of here.
I know. I don't want that.
No.
I'm so scared of it. I'm not embracing AI. I really am not. I'm moving in the other direction.
So we have like artificial intelligence. We have like disaster after disaster after disaster. We have aliens. It's just like, it's become like so much.
It's
that
too much.
I've literally put myself and my whole consciousness into TikTok now. Yeah. That's literally like...
It's funny because like I'm very like averse to AI and all of that stuff, but I'm like, TikTok can have all my data. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm on there all the time and I'm like, I simply can't care. I'm constantly oscillating between like wanting to be my old self where I'm like, I want to go out. I want to be with people. I want to have fun. Woo woo. And then being like, I'm terrified of everything.
People.
And I'm about to be fucking Nick Offerman in episode 3 of The Last of Us, where I'm just like, bye.
Was that
like,
not the most beautiful piece of television you've ever seen?
Oh, don't spoiler alert. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my God.
We won't say anything, but it was...
I've heard. All I hear about is episode 3.
It was beautiful. It was lovely.
Really.
And he's lovely.
I know. I'm glad that White Lotus dude is getting more work
Me too.
I'll tell you that I haven't heard any any excitement around something like this since San Junipero.
Yeah. An episode of something.
Yeah. Like where people have been just like, it's changed my internal makeup somehow. Like it rearranged atoms inside of me.
Also,
I'm
the
excited
way
about
that show is filmed is so beautiful. Like the cinematography and everything on top
it
of
feels like the video game.
And Daddy's in it.
That's what I've heard.
Oh God.
Daddy.
Can we talk? The Pedro Pascal thirst is
when
full on.
The thing that you
cannot be
posted,
quenched.
that interview where he
Cannot be quenched.
where he's like he's your slutty daddy or whatever,
goddamn.
and he calls her mama, and he's and
he's
I've
like, "Hey,
never
mama,"
been
and I'm
turned
like,
on by someone calling someone
Never.
mama before
I'm
ever in my
sweating.
life, and I was like, oh
you
my
have you
God.
have like a graph where you have like Mike Pence's mother and Pedro Pascal's mama. And
Yeah.
I'm like, the two could not be
The
further.
two could never meet.
Never meet. It's a completely different vibe.
But
I'm
That's
Pedro
the wormhole.
Pascal
That's
mama.
the wormhole that space aliens came through. That is the timeline.
It
of
split
that.
open when Pedro Pascal called that reporter mama.
And the aliens are like, they're ready for us now.
He's so hot.
He's so hot.
It's really upsetting.
disturbing.
I'm upset about it.
Honestly,
disturbing.
if
I'm sweating
men
right now, you
want
guys.
a masterclass
Holy
on what
shit.
women want, literally just search Pedro Pascal on
Period.
TikTok.
Yeah.
You will get a masterclass
And
in
he's
what
goofy.
every woman wants. Yeah.
And it's not that he's just like it's not just the like sex appeal, which he has.
Right.
It's the fucking goofiness. He doesn't take himself
Silly.
too seriously. He's not like pissed off if somebody doesn't like him, and that incel behavior. I'm just so fucking
Him
over
in
it,
that
dude.
Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh,
What the extreme
best.
weight of massive talent or whatever that was.
yeah.
He's
My favorite movie alive.
So funny.
Brilliant.
Like that was the first time I really saw him
Same.
as like a comedic actor, and he's hilarious.
Yeah.
He is,
He's got that charisma, that it
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Somebody,
what women want.
Please clip this out and send it to Pedro Pascal. If I could get one video, just one. He can call me mama.
Yeah,
God.
honestly, that would be ideal.
I don't. You know, I don't. I have daddy issues. I don't like calling people daddy, but I will call you daddy.
Yeah.
Pedro.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
And I won't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Let's hear it for the goofy guys.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
having
Wow.
having
They're
a
having
good
a mom.
Oh, goofissance.
They're having a mom. Like, okay, so on Valentine's Day, I didn't even know they were dating. So Emily
No one did.
Ratajkowski.
Ratatowski.
Uh-oh.
EmRata?
EmRata.
I think it's Ratatowski.
But she and Eric Andre posted a picture together on
Naked.
Yeah.
So he's like lounging in like a really goofy way. It's like George Costanza in Seinfeld, like lounging on a couch, and there's like an emoji over where his dick is.
Yeah.
And he's in front of a mirror, and you can see her naked in the mirror.
Yeah, it's goofy naked time.
Yeah, and it's also great. The longer I looked at the picture, the better it got for me, because it's just like clothes all over the floor, like empty wine glass on the floor, and you know exactly how this happened.
Oh yeah.
You can follow the story.
Yeah,
of
I was
exactly
in
how this happened.
my early 20s before we all, I think, went through our era where we went for the like goofy stoner dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was
of
fun.
course.
Yeah.
It did not last because, you know.
I'm happy to see that we are moving away from the line cook summer into
Yes.
goofy stoner dude.
Goofy spring, goofy stoner spring. Yeah, that's fine with me for sure. But I mean, people had really strong opinions about that picture,
Yeah.
and people got like really like. I thought it was awesome. I was like,
Ridiculously
I think
upset
it's
for no
great. I
reason.
think Eric Andre's
Yeah.
really funny, and I love that he's landed like the hottest person on earth.
I do believe that the ship has also taken back off. It seems as though like she posted that, and then like apparently immediately it was over.
Well,
So,
that's okay. Maybe it was
that's
just a
bummer.
hookup.
Yeah.
Like that's fine too. But I'm like,
I'll
that's
say
great.
I don't get it. I
Really?
know the two of you were kind of like, oh, I
love
see it.
it.
I don't. I just don't. I don't. Eric Andre isn't the kind of goofy that I go for, to be honest.
Okay.
And he's not good enough looking. Like his goofy isn't good, and like his laughter, his humor isn't enough to make up for.
I
Like,
feel
it's as
like
if it's not
he would
meeting for
be
me.
exhausting for me.
Oh yeah,
But I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me. I feel like EmRata probably gets like all of these like super hot dudes who are like really full of themselves or whatever, throwing themselves at her all the time.
It was probably a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. That was probably like a relief, you know? Yeah. I get it. And I was rooting for them. So, but I'm also like, if y'all just hooked up and made a really funny
Happy
post,
for that too.
I love it.
Another one that seems to be biting the dust as we speak is Megan Kelly.
Right.
Or
Megan Fox.
Megan
Kelly.
I mean, haven't heard from her in a while. So, but Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, R.I.P. Love is not real, you know?
Yeah.
I just want to know how she got that ring off. Apparently it was designed to like
to be painful.
Yeah.
Cut deep. So the most recent thing I saw was that so she deleted everyone except for Eminem, which is
hilarious
beautiful
because
amount of
Eminem
shame.
and MGK have beef.
Love it.
Great.
Timothy Chalamet and who else? It was one other person. Like basically like following 3 people. She's like, fuck y'all.
And 3 dudes.
Deleted everyone. Good for you. Happy for you.
But I want to know why those 3. You know what I mean? Because
then the lyrics, right? She chose the lyrics from the Beyonce song from Lemonade.
Yes.
Which is
Cheater Album 101.
Yep.
Yeah, we get the message. It's not
subtle. No.
Pretty heavy on
we got it.
We got it.
Yeah. And we're not surprised.
It's giving 2008 Christina vague booking.
Oh yes.
Where I thought I was being so subtle and clever and doing like lyrics to be like,
oh my
and they'll
God.
get it. They'll all get it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Same. Why were we were the same people?
Oh yeah. We've all lived exactly the same life.
Lived the internet that way. I can't. You sent a TikTok the other day with that person in high school like dancing. I can't tell you how grateful I am that the internet didn't really exist for me in a real way until later in high school.
I wish I knew you forever ago or whatever, and it's like
no, you
don't. It's awkward.
You
do not.
You do not.
No, you're getting me right at the right time, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm in my prime. Okay,
no.
Truly, I'm in my prime. When I was at home, I was talking to somebody about that, and I was saying like how like I was like, no, man, like I was so uncomfortable, like I was so awkward in high school, and I like nobody ever asked me out on dates or anything, and they're like, no way, like, and I'm like, no, you're getting 2023 me,
right?
This version of me is new. She is shiny.
She shed off her skin a few times.
She has.
Evolved.
Yeah, I've exfoliated since then. Like I'm not the same person that I was whenever I was in high school, for sure. But yeah, I mean, even just looking at like the awkward, uncomfortable things that we did do, not having the internet. Like I'm sure that there's a VHS tape of me doing some dance routine to Spice Girls that exists in my parents' attic somewhere. Or like, when did you guys ever put on shows for your friends and their parents?
100.
Absolutely. Yeah, we spend all day working on a dance routine with your bestie, and then you're like, get the parents in the living room.
Get movies.
The puffy paint. We're making shirts.
We're making shirts.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so fucking real, dude. Okay. So my best friend Sarah and I, we used to do the stupidest, like dumbest, that we would record video or audio tapes and just, it would be stories. Like we would tell stories. I was literally priming myself for this job my entire life. But one of the videos that we did was the Mentos. We made a Mentos commercial.
Mentos freshness.
Wow.
Mentos freshness.
Fresh, full of life.
Mentos, the freshener. So we did like an entire video of us made our own Mentos commercial.
Wow.
Her dad videotaped it. It was hilarious. It lived. One of her younger sisters recorded over it with like an episode of ER. Oh no! Her dad was furious because we were in high school by that time, right? Like we're like older.
You can't get that.
No,
you can't
not
get
that back. She done.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, that's lucky. Yeah, we didn't have a video camera growing up, so whatever you heard I was like as a kid, you keep that to yourself because that never happened.
Deny.
Bury it deep down and never bring it up again.
No evidence.
That's right,
Your Honor. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Thank you. So fuck, marry, kill. We've been talking about goofs.
Yeah.
The goofballs.
Goofy guys. Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of comedians fall into this category, obviously.
Yeah, but there's a difference, I think, between a comedian and a goofy guy.
That's
right.
true.
A funny guy and a goofy guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
There is a
Because,
distinction.
like, you look at, okay, there's like stand-up comedians who I think are like just legitimately funny people, but then you also look at like I think that specifically people who act in funny films, like a Will Ferrell, like a sketch comedy.
Yeah, I mean,
type of guy.
I would
more of a goofy.
I would say Will Ferrell is definitely a goofy guy.
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, doesn't take himself too seriously. But then you have guys who should be goofy guys that I feel like aren't, like Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah, he's very serious.
He's like
man.
intense,
Yeah.
right? But like you're like you should be goofy, but you're not goofy,
Right.
You know, like there are those guys too.
Like a Ben Stiller.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller scares
feel
me
like-
slightly.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
He's
scared of
very
him.
intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I combine his like regular character. I'm like, is he being sarcastic right now? Or
You
is he
can't
being
tell.
real?
I don't
You
know.
can't tell.
He's the kind. Oh God, please don't sue me. Actually, he's the kind who would listen to this and be vindictive about it. So maybe I just won't say anything.
Oh no! Still, I don't think
I
that.
get a vibe. I just get a vibe.
I bet he's a little lighter than we expect. His parents are comedians too. They were really funny.
Well, maybe
So I think
that's the key then, because we often like, oh, God, our parents. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe he's super serious
feel like
because his parents are
he's-
so silly.
I feel like he's like his character on Friends. That episode of Friends he's on, where he's just like he's like super nice, like when you're with him, and then like in private, like he's like a sociopath. You know what I mean?
oh
Yeah.
no!
You're like, oh no.
Oh, no. Do you feel
right.
like Adam Sandler is that way too?
I don't. I think Adam Sandler is a big sweetie.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
bet he's a goofball.
think he's a goofball.
he is
Yeah.
the kind of person who's still wearing like soccer shorts.
I
though,
love
or
it.
like basketball shorts.
It's
100.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, the chic Adam Sandler core is an aesthetic on
Yeah.
TikTok that I've seen. So I love him.
Do we consider Jeff Goldblum a goofy guy?
Yes, I do.
Yes, because he's
Yeah.
not inherently a funny guy, but
he's
he is
very
goofy.
goofy.
He
Yeah.
is
Oh,
silly.
that's a good call. That's
Yeah.
a great one.
That's a great one.
I think I'm picking Mr. Jeff Goldblum.
That's a
Mr.
smart
Jeff
call. I
Goldblum.
like this
love
for
that.
us.
I love that.
For all of us.
I'm gonna go Adam Sandler. I'm gonna go Adam Sandler.
Oh gosh. Boof. This is tough.
I know it can be.
You narrow it down. Who do we narrow it down to? I guess it's gonna have to be Pedro Pascal. I'm just kidding.
I guess I'm like,
guess
why
I-
is it in every FMK now?
I kind of want to do Will Ferrell.
All right.
But then I also kind of like God, what's the guy's name who does all the movies with him? That was
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
Oh, he's silly too. I mean, you know what though? He has a serious vibe to him too.
He's done serious work,
Yeah.
but he's also,
A goof.
he can
Yeah.
cut loose with Will Ferrell.
yeah.
Gosh, this is tough.
Up to you.
Yeah, I'll do Will Ferrell. Fuck
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler, and Jeff Goldblum. You got
Wow.
some tall people in
Yeah,
this.
it's nice.
I like it.
You got some tall boys in this FMK because Jeff Goldblum and Will Ferrell are both like over 6
6
foot,
foot,
like
yeah.
considerably. And I think Adam Sandler's not short either.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell looks so much like the dude in Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, I'm like, do your ancestry because y'all motherfuckers are
I know
related.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
You're talking about Flea?
No,
I was like,
Chad.
oh, that's right.
One with the
Yes,
curly
yes,
hair.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Give me a sec.
I mean, I know what I'm going to do. I know what
Okay.
I'm going to do, I think.
Okay.
I am going to marry Adam Sandler.
Yep.
I just think like the way he is with his kids is
Yeah.
really cute. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He also is like kind of accepting that he's getting older. He was on the cover of AARP.
I love him.
Aw.
I love that for him.
Sweetheart. No, I do too because I'm just like, you know, he's a man in his like late 40s or late 40s.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or early 50s,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Probably 50s.
Yeah. And he just seems like super chill.
Yeah.
He seems like
Seems
he's got
very
a,
laid back.
he's got a basketball hoop probably at home.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't have to worry about him like jet setting off or like cheat. He doesn't seem like he has the energy to cheat.
No.
no.
Do you know what
he
I mean?
doesn't.
No, he's like, we're going to have an at-home movie theater.
Yep.
Yes.
And we're just going to like eat popcorn and
Yes.
relax. Like that's the vibes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna marry him. I'm gonna fuck Jeff Goldblum.
Absolutely.
I want to climb him like a tree.
Pristine high thread count sheets.
Yeah. And I want to go shopping too. I want to have a whole day where we go shopping together because I feel like he has really good like
taste.
Style.
Yeah.
He's got amazing taste. And then we're going to drink really good wine. He's going to know exactly what to pair it with.
Yeah.
That's the vibes, the Jeff Goldblum vibes. The date will be spectacular and the sex will be good.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah. You know the sex
it's going to be good. Yeah. But there is something about him where I'm like, I don't know if I could marry him. Like being with him like long term, I don't know that would work out. I think it would get like...
His shtick would get old.
I find the other way around. See, I think that Adam Sandler shtick, there's no way I could live with that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
He's too shticky in that voice stuff that he does. I'm like, okay, we get it. You're funny, dude. All right. Like, it doesn't always have to fucking be a show for everyone. It just, that energy would be just grating after a while.
I get the vibe, though, that like Adam Sandler's not like that at home.
See, and I get the vibe that Jeff Goldblum is not like
that.
I
happen to know he is like that out at restaurants, though.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum?
Well,
Jeff Goldblum is Jeff Goldblum when he's out.
Yeah.
He's on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's fine with me, though.
Yeah. I mean... hot, always has been hot. We had a conversation a few years ago with your son Cassie where he was like, do you guys really think Jeff Goldblum is hot? And I was like, yes, of course he's hot. And then Chris was like, well, he's not like traditionally good looking. And I was like, I never thought he wasn't. I always thought he was.
He's good looking.
Yeah.
I think the goofy adds to it. For sure.
Yeah.
But
Confidence.
I think that for guys, they see goofiness as detracting from good looks, and women see it the other way around.
Goofy guy supremacy for sure.
Yeah.
And then I love Will Ferrell. I actually really love him. This is not a Will Ferrell diss.
Right.
It's just that, if I had to pick, I'm going to marry Adam Sandler and I'm going to fuck Jeff Goldblum.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry Will Ferrell because I think that he can be serious when he needs to be. I've seen him around his kids. He's Mr. Dad, takes care of business. Like he seems very, like he seems like he has that on and off switch. Like he can be goofy when he wants to be, but he can be serious. And I could not, there's no way. And I believe you that I think that Adam Sandler probably is less goofy around his family, but I think for sure he uses those voices around his kids. And that would just grate on
if
my
he uses them
nerves.
with the kids, that's fine. Just don't use them with me.
Not in the bedroom.
Not at all. Like, honestly, I love you, Adam Sandler, and entertain the kids by all means, but please don't turn it on for me.
The only voice I want to hear from him is Little Nicky. That's the only.
What?
I don't know.
Of all of them, it's that one.
I don't know. Like, I just hate the dumb. I don't know. It's too shticky. It's too much.
Okay.
So I'm going to marry Will Ferrell. I think that he's also Will Ferrell's, but I also equally think that Adam Sandler is very smart. I think both of them are very smart. I feel like I could have really intensely deep conversations probably with either of them.
I think all three of them are pretty smart.
Smart businessman. I think that, he takes care of his shit.
You don't get to where you're at without like hard work too.
Right.
The amount of work that Will Ferrell did, like building up, what is
empire.
it, Funny or Die and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You have to be, type A. You have to be motivated. So
and he's deep in podcasting.
Yeah, he is.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
So that's a good career move.
It'll be great for our career.
Yeah.
I love this for us.
Thank you for doing that for us. I appreciate it.
Anything to help out. Anything for the pod. I am going to also climb the Jeff.
Oh, of course.
We're all fucking Jeff Goldblum.
Get in that treehouse. Got to get up there.
I also, like you, want the entire day.
Yes.
I want the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want a good meal. I want to see the Jeff Goldblum in character when he's out.
Spa experience with Jeff Goldblum.
And he's going to do the spa with you. You're getting a couples massage and facial.
Yes.
He's not afraid of a pedicure.
No.
I love it.
No. Mani-pedi. Yeah, he's down. Yeah, I'm definitely going to fuck Jeff Goldblum as well. Now, when it comes to marriage, this one's tough for me.
Yeah, it's a real split in the difference here, right?
Yeah. I think that I loved the movie Punch Drunk Love so much that I have to marry Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I mean,
I know
the thing is, Adam Sandler he can at least take on serious roles, but so can Will Ferrell. I've seen them both do serious roles. He did Stranger Than Fiction, and he was great in that. So
it's hard to see him that way, though. For me,
Will Ferrell,
like,
or Adam
even when
Sandler?
he does the serious Will Ferrell, even when he does a serious role, I'm like, is he being serious?
Come on,
so silly.
Come on.
But so I think that there's I interpret Adam Sandler to be like somebody that can turn it off and does seem to be a little bit more low key. And I'm like, yeah, I can be a homebody with Adam Sandler. We have a very nice home.
I think between Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell, I think Adam Sandler is much more cozy at home.
Yeah.
He seems like he just wants to be in sweatpants, you know?
And I'm like, that's my vibe. Let's
During the
cook
break,
some
I'm looking
pasta.
up all of their signs.
Oh, excellent.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
we have to know.
Simply must. Well, we have some new patrons.
Heck yeah.
And I do want to say, first of all, we appreciate your patience. I was out of town for 3 weeks, and so we weren't together to, write all of our love notes and get those sent to you, but we are doing all of that today. So you should be receiving your patron rewards very soon. So thank you so much for being patient with us. But shout out to McKenna Hart.
Yes.
Welcome. And Jessica Kokobova.
Welcome.
And Natalie Reginald. Welcome.
Yay.
So exciting to have you over on Patreon. We are doing so much more like video content and stuff over there. So let us know how you like that and what else you want to see. And if you have any FMK suggestions or movie suggestions for stuff that you would like to hear us talk about, we would love to hear from you. We are so grateful to every single one of our patrons. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys. You guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with story?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Great.
And we're back. All right, Christina, kick us off with stories.
Okay. We got this one written in and I've been so excited to share this with you guys.
I've been sitting on it for a while.
Yes. So she says, "Hi ladies, love listening to y'all. When I first started listening to your podcast, I thought to myself, man, I'm so glad I missed all this shit. Then I thought some more and realized maybe I do have some stories.
I do. I've got to comment on that because we have heard that so many times. We are bringing up a lot of repressed memories.
Yes.
There's so many recovered memories from listening to this podcast where people are like, that did
no.
happen. Oh no.
So she says, after college, I moved to a small city to start a job. I have been a high-level athlete for most of my life, age 14 to 25-ish, when I
Brag.
retired/graduated. I know, I wish I was an athlete.
I know.
Yeah, me too.
And have been very focused.
Barely walk like a normal person.
Yeah, I know. Without that. Exactly. Yeah. AKA, I did not date at all. I'm also visually impaired, partially blind, and use a guide dog to get around. So let's say my dating radar was not strong. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at what I know is coming up. So I just want to be clear. Like, I'm not like, this is fucking terrible. I'm sorry.
You can't see. Wow.
Like,
God,
what a
Christina.
bitch.
Jesus.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
No, I had to bring that up. I know what's happening. I know what's coming. Okay. So in this new city and job, there's literally no public transportation. I can't drive, neither can the dog. So I was walking everywhere. The gym I found was a 45-minute walk one way from my house. So after a few miserable walks home during thunderstorms, I decided to ask my brand new coworkers if anyone wanted to try this gym and or needed a gym buddy, i.e. me fishing for a ride.
Yeah.
One man braved to say yes. I had met him one time the day I started the new job because it was his birthday and the team went out to lunch and then went to his apartment he shared with his girlfriend. Don't worry, we'll get there.
okay.
To meet his 3 ferrets.
Wait.
Oh.
He had his coworkers over
too
to
many.
meet his ferrets.
That's too many ferrets
It's
in one house.
and I like ferrets, and it is because look, ferrets are lovely, but they have a
They stink.
smell.
Yeah.
They have a distinct odor. Yeah.
The day after we met, he had moved to a different team, so I literally only knew his name. As a 6'2" tall, strong as fuck blind woman who grew up with 3 giant brothers and worked at the same place, I didn't think about stranger danger and was elated when he shared interest in trying this new gym with me. His name was Nick. Over the next month, we went to the gym together about once a week. We started to become friends, but I thought he had a girlfriend, so I just treated it like a friendship.
Right.
Towards the end of October, he mentioned to me that a bunch of people from work are going to meet up and do the haunted forest and asked if I'd like to go. He also specifically listed 1 to 2 coworkers who I knew well that would be going.
Listen, at this point of having done this podcast for this many years, I'm like, I need confirmation.
I'm gonna go talk to those
I need to go
friends
talk to them and
immediately.
be like, hey, what time are you guys getting there?
Exactly.
Because I don't trust
Haunted
this motherfucker
forest
at all.
with Nick?
First of all, First of all, if a couple of my really good friends from work are going, why wasn't I already invited by them?
Right?
That's my question.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. Did you know?
What?
Okay. All right. Wow.
So after the gym, we drove to the haunted forest and bought tickets. I asked Nick who was coming. He mentioned a few names again, but then said some people had backed out. After a few more minutes, he asked if I just wanted to go in. I said, maybe we should wait for the group. He said, we might as well go. There's no
the group is
coming.
not coming.
It was a trick. So we entered the forest.
No, never a forest trick.
Never a forest.
I should mention that my guide dog was with us at the time guiding me. A delightful dog who was the embodiment of a grumpy old man who hates loud noises.
Oh, baby.
I should also mention this haunted forest was over a mile-long excursion of scary loud obstacles.
Oh, no.
This wasn't my worst date. It was my guide dog's.
Oh, honey, baby.
For over a mile, we were chased by a man with a chainsaw, shot at with fake gunfire from a full-size turret, and screamed at by witches.
Oh, your
this
dog
poor
was probably
dog
so upset.
hated it.
Oh, my God.
I barely paid attention to the scary things or Nick just because I was feeling so bad for my faithful guide dog who was just trying to stay alive and keep me from running into shit.
Oh,
finally,
baby.
after over an hour, I'm so sorry. All I can see is, oh my God, this poor fucking dog. Finally, after over an hour, we're nearing the end of the path when we find the last obstacle, a 20-foot covered metal slide with flashing lights and firecrackers going off at the end.
No.
Yeah, we're not doing that, I said, and we turned and walked out of the entrance. We made our way around the obstacle by literally bushwhacking through the undergrowth in the forest until we came to a stream. Did I mention that my guide dog also hated water?
Yeah.
Nick kindly picked my dog up and carried him over a 2x4 laid across the creek, and we were home free. Afterwards, I thanked Nick for the experience and then cuddled my dog to sleep in a soft blanket for the rest of the night.
Hunter bunner.
The next day, I found a dog bone on my desk with a note that read, "Sorry, Briggs," from Nick.
Oh,
I was
my
like,
God,
what
are they married now?
What a nice guy. Too bad he has a girlfriend. Nick and I continued to go to the gym, but bumped it up from one day a week to 2 or 3. We became good friends. A few weeks after the haunted forest incident, he asked me if I could help him with some yard work at a friend's house.
So excited right now.
In getting to know each other, I had shared my childhood of being free child labor from my parents. Turns out he had broken up and moved out of the place with his girlfriend a few weeks before we had started going to the gym together.
Oh.
So he's been single for a while,
For the
playing
whole
the
time.
long game.
Okay.
For the whole time, yeah. Nice. A friend was letting Nick stay in his basement for free while Nick waited for his next place to become available. And to say thank you, Nick helped out with yard work. Specifically, I learned tearing out this huge thorny bush. He said he wanted to do it in one day because the next day he was going to trade in his minivan for a new car, so this was the last day he could use it. So I tied my guide dog to a fence nearby, and in my tank top and short workout shorts, got to work. Oh, I know you're like
doing a lot of bending over.
I don't shy away from a challenge, and this was one of them. Luckily, we had some gloves, but man, it was rough. 2-3 hours of work later, we were done. I had scrapes everywhere, bleeding in multiple places, but the back of the van was packed, and we carted it to the green waste dumpster. Nick thanked me profusely and asked if he could get me dinner. Sure, I really like In-N-Out. We can do that.
Oh, honey.
He's trying to take you on a date.
Yeah.
Baby.
He goes, how about we go to Five Guys? The audacity. Dude, I just busted my butt for 3 hours and literally have blood running down my leg. Give me In-N-Out and take me home. But in the moment, I just didn't care enough when we went to Five Guys. We've been together for 6 years now and are getting married in June.
Oh.
And I still hold the In-N-Out portrayal over his head. A constant argument that we have every so often is when asked what our first date was. This stupid boy says that cleaning out the thorny shrub was our first date. Idiot.
This dummy.
Well, now I need to know, were there more people who were supposed to go?
I think it was a trick.
Right?
I think it was a trick.
Yeah.
But I mean, thinking through that, I'm like, you're going to take
somebody with a
guide dog to a haunted forest.
No.
It was not. That was
All
not.
I could see is like, because we just adopted
honey.
Sandy or whatever, trying to get her through this haunted thing when there's like chainsaws and stuff.
No.
It's so
She gone.
terrible.
I can't think of one dog that would enjoy that experience. Like, I don't know. And, you know, I've known some adventurous dogs in my day, and it's just not,
That ain't it.
it's loud noises and stuff. They don't like that.
No.
Aw,
Oh,
sweet
baby.
baby.
Oh.
Justice for
Sorry,
Briggs.
Justice for Briggs.
Justice for Briggs. Oh, honey. Okay. Oh, speaking of, I opened my phone and there's my puppy. I love her. Okay. So, turns out my worst date with a hot girl turned out to be my best first date ever. Reality is often stranger than fiction, and this is a perfect example. 100 years ago, when I was in high school, that's a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I was crushing on one of the classic hot chicks. This girl was 2 years older and 1 grade higher than me. My buddies dared me to ask her on a date, so I did. I walked up and asked her if she was doing anything on Friday night, and she said no. Then I asked her if I could take her to dinner, and she friggin' said yes.
Hey.
Shoot your shot.
Exactly.
You never know. It doesn't hurt to ask.
Exactly. Right at that moment, my blood froze in my veins, and I forgot how to breathe. Let me explain a little. This girl wasn't just hot. She was possibly the hottest chick in the school. She wasn't just a member of the Glamour Girls. She was their queen or president or whatever. She was accustomed to dating guys who drove their own BMWs, which their parents had paid for, and being taken to pro sporting events in Toronto. Meanwhile, I was a skinny little rocker who was lucky if I could borrow my mom's Mazda.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, I would have dated him in high school for sure.
Yeah. My folks weren't poor by any means, but we sure as hell didn't have 2 summer homes and a fleet of exotic cars in the driveway. But I did my best planning out a dinner at Swiss Chalet.
Where's that? I don't know what that is.
It sounds
Swiss Chalet is a
fancy.
chain restaurant in Canada. It's kind of like a Denny's, basically. It's not like...
It's not even like an Applebee's.
No.
We're on Denny's level.
I think it's... from my experience, I would call it like Denny's.
Why
level.
is it called Swiss Chalet?
It's
That's
a chain. It's a chain restaurant.
It
Like,
sounds
imagine
fancy.
If it does.
It's
Imagine
not.
if Denny's was called Swiss Chalet. It'd be like, what?
Moons over my hammy.
Yeah, you're like,
From
I feel
Swiss
deceived.
Chalet.
I don't think it's like breakfast food, to be clear. So not in that way, but like as far as like that
diner-ish.
chain.
Oh, is it
Okay.
kind of like a
Restaurant.
Friendlies kind
Maybe.
of place?
Okay.
Yeah. Friendlies, I guess, would be closer. Best I could afford, and drinks at a local club that I knew it would let me in. They had to let me in because I was their part-time dishwasher.
Part-time dishwasher
sweetie.
is such a high school job. Like part-time.
And honestly,
I love
like
it.
I'm thinking, okay, so maybe she's 18. If she's 2 years older than him, he's probably 16.
And 16, yeah.
And at 18, you can drink. So he's probably thinking, oh, I'll take her to a place that
we can both
that
drink at. I can feel grown up.
Yeah, right. I dressed as nice as I could,
no.
picked her up promptly at 7, and did my very best to act manly and mature. When she asked if we could blow off dinner and just grab coffee, I heard the trombone go womp womp. Then she asked if we could just walk around through the park instead of getting drinks. I knew I was the lamest date she ever had. All we did was walk around in the bitter cold, talking about nothing important, and then it was time for me to take her home. Forget the kiss when I dropped her off. I didn't even ask for a handshake. I spent that whole weekend trying to figure out how I could get out of this because I knew my life was over. I landed a date with the hottest girl in school, and I totally blew it. Imagine my surprise the following Monday when I arrived at school, still very much alive, and this girl ran up and gave me a huge kiss right in front of everyone.
Wow.
Oh, hey.
And begged me to take her out again. She even thanked me for, and get this, the most romantic night of her young life.
You did exactly what she asked you to do. Like she's like, I wanted coffee and to go for a walk. She asked for that.
She asked,
so it's like you
and
didn't blow anything.
Acquiesced.
Yeah.
He didn't like be like, no, we must go to the
Yeah.
Swiss Chalet.
Yeah.
We went on many more dates after that, and more than just a handshake happened as things progressed. We stayed together until she went out of town to university, and we're still on friendly terms more than 30 years later. I eventually did ask her, long after we were both married to other people, what made that date the most romantic date of her life. And she laughed and said it was so simple. No other guide would believe it because it was the fact that I was willing to just be normal. All the other guys she dated spent all their time trying to literally impress her pants off. But I was willing to just let her be a normal people, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine. She didn't want a guy who could promise her the world. She just wanted a guy who was normal, who she could be normal around. She said that that if you look at only truly long-term couple or any truly long-term couples, they don't act like they need to impress each other. Long-term couples act like totally normal people who can just be themselves around each other. Because if you can't be normal around the person you love, you can't really be in love with them. So
yeah.
Aw.
Well, that's exactly what we were talking about.
That's a good lesson. Yeah. Just, I feel like there were a couple good tidbits in there, you know, and just treat people like normal. And she's like, can we actually do this? And he was like, yeah, sure. That's fine.
Right.
Well, imagine you're in EmRata. That's probably exactly. I thought about that because I was like, when we were talking about EmRata and Eric Andre, I was like, I bet he just let her be a fucking normal person.
Right. Yeah.
And she was like, hey, do you want to take a funny naked picture? And he was like,
I would love to. And he leaned into it hard.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I love that. Okay. This one is from Reddit. First sentence is, I met some guy on Reddit, which I'm like, that's not a dating site. Interesting. I met some guy on Reddit. This story almost makes me yearn for the days my boundaries were non-existent because it means I got into some crazy shit. He seemed a tad quirky. He didn't own a cell phone, for instance.
That's not quirky. That's unreachable.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't like that.
What do you do for work that you can just be off the... Okay. All
Well,
right.
I got questions.
Me too.
Yeah.
What, you got a landline?
I asked him to meet me at one of my favorite coffee shops. I find him there. He has a laptop, but it's like 20 years old. I'm shocked it connects to Wi-Fi. He doesn't drink coffee. He's sitting there drinking milk from a plastic cup.
Okay, no, run. The reddest of flags. Someone's just raw dogging out titty, drinking it. No, what is wrong with you?
Because we had this conversation on here where Cassie was like, back before she knew she was lactose intolerant, she used to enjoy a cup of milk.
I would drink like a gallon of milk.
Oh my God.
And we had so many people write in and they're like confession, like Kelly from Boobies and Newbies is like, I like to enjoy a cold glass of milk. And we had people reach out who were like, I enjoy drinking milk, but coming to a coffee shop,
just a glass of milk
with just like a beige like fucking computer.
As a grown man just drinking milk at the coffee shop, I would turn around and walk out. I'd be like, that's a psychopath.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you do that at home.
In
the privacy of your own fucking home. You
don't tell anybody.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, you put the milk in your coffee cup with a lid on it, and you don't tell anyone what's in there. Fucking weirdo. I ask him to go outside. I can tell he's not showered. I'm sitting downwind. It's not great.
Oh.
This is where 30-year-old me leaves, but 26-year-old me stays.
4 years.
Yep.
Big
difference.
Yep.
I tried to go, but we ended up walking past his truck, and he pulls out some flowers for me. Why were they in the truck?
I mean,
yeah, in the bed.
He was waiting.
Right?
He was waiting to see.
Yeah.
If you were the one.
We're compatible. But not ones he's bought, ones he's picked from the side of the street, like a 5-year-old. Just
loose flowers.
Just like roots connected.
Back of his 4x4.
Oh, no.
Fucking weird.
Okay.
He wants to hang out longer, so he pulls out this telescope. And we go for a little walk. Why do you have a telescope
You know
in
what?
your car?
I want to hang out longer. Let me grab my
Let
telescope.
me get my telescope.
I'm sorry, what?
One sec.
What is going on in the back of this truck?
know.
What
There's a
else
lot
is
happening
it?
back
Is
there.
it like Mary Poppins' purse?
Yeah.
Just has anything you want.
He has pockets full of Starburst candy and keeps offering them to me.
I'm in
They're
on
all
that.
warm.
Ew.
It's too cloudy to use the telescope and also still daytime. I'm trying to hurry the walk up at this point. I found it odd that despite him not owning a cell phone, he had pretty much every possible electronic known to man in his backpack. Tablet, laptop, Kindle, gaming system, everything. So strange. Why don't you have a cell phone?
He has some weird conspiracy.
Yeah, about cell phones.
About cell phones.
Definitely.
Yeah. He's like, it's 5G. It's 5G. Like, bro, what do you think your fucking tablet runs on?
We circle back to the truck. I try to say goodbye, but he really wants to hang out longer, and his face is super sad. So I say,
oh my God, bye. So I say,
bye. So I say, I need a ride to the pet fish store. Because I did. It was my errand for the afternoon.
Okay, great.
So I get into his truck, ankle deep in empty 5-hour energy shots. Of course. He drives me 15 minutes to the local pet fish store where we look at fish and I purchase driftwood. I guess I'm somewhat hopeful maybe I can convince myself this wasn't a terrible waste of time. At this point, it's dark and he keeps trying to touch me, but also recall he was unshowered and it was gross. He thought I was an amazing catch because I play BioShock. Also, we get hungry, so I recommend we eat somewhere quick because I want to get out ASAP, but still don't know how to pull this parachute.
Yeah, how many hours have come by?
I mean, you're doing a lot.
He's probably ready for another glass of milk.
Yeah. We stood...
Can I get a glass of milk? It just feels so... Just say it. Just say that.
May I please have a glass of milk?
I don't know why.
We stood at a by the slice kind of place. He makes me pay for my own $2 slice of pizza after ordering his own, which was a little awkward. He asked me if I think they have milk. I say no. He asked them if they have milk.
Fucking
they
knew it.
Don't.
Excuse me. Do you have any milk?
Do you have any milk at a by the slice pizza place? Like, oh my God.
No, have a soda, you weirdo.
So strange.
Milk's good for your teeth.
He pulls out of his cargo pants.
If you oh my God.
An enormous container of garlic salt.
Oh. What?
And
also, wait.
Ask
like, it better not be
if
milk.
I want any. But like he's wearing cargo
shorts that so far have had like Starburst candies and garlic salt.
A garlic salt container.
Listen, I love to be prepared for any kind of situation too, but this is absurd.
Extreme.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Why do you have garlic salt in your pants?
Or telescopes in your truck.
I don't know.
Fucking weirdest story I've ever heard.
He offers me a ride home, but I lie and say I'm close and walk 2 miles in the dark by myself to try and decompress because holy hell, I should have left 4 hours ago. He leaves me a voicemail from his parents' landline saying he had a great time because he doesn't have a cell phone.
It comes up like Mr. and Mrs.
Exactly. He's like, who the fuck is that?
Mr. and Mrs. Cooper.
What? I message him on Reddit and say we won't be hanging out again.
No. Oh,
Oh my God. That's so much.
Wow.
What's happening?
So many things happened in that
Show
story.
up. There's milk. Like, God. Milk.
Doubled
you
on milk.
definitely picked some flowers from somebody's front yard.
Yeah. Somebody's going to go out and be like, who the fuck
hydrangeas?
Oh my God.
You want garlic salt?
Also, cargo shorts. You're
I
on
gotta
a date
know.
in cargo shorts?
Dude,
That's
all
Adam
that shit
Sandler
is
chic, for
coming
sure.
I hate
back.
it. It really
Yeah,
is.
it
I saw today, you know what is coming back? The bump.
Oof.
No.
That's not necessary.
A bump it?
They're coming back.
I'm not
Oh,
necessary.
no.
They-
What a dark time in our
Yes,
history.
that doesn't-
What in the Jersey Shore? Please don't
bump,
do it.
The bump is coming back, you guys.
Oh, no.
It's
I was that really triggered me.
On that note, I need to take a break.
I know, we'll take 5 and we'll come back with the Tainted Love, which is going to be the bump.
And we're back.
All right. Well, do I have a tale for you? I am going to take it back to olden times.
I love it.
And we're going to talk about Catherine Hall. So Catherine was born near Birmingham in 1690.
I never know when olden times is said. I'm like, this could be anything from like 1920 to like 1500. Like we don't know.
We're taking it all the way back to like, I think Shakespeare just died at this point.
Oh, wow.
Or
Yeah,
what have you. So
love is dead.
We're in England. We're in Birmingham. They are so poor. Her parents could not be bothered with Catherine, like no education, like nothing. They were just like poor
in the 1600s sounds bleak.
It is very bleak. So Catherine's just hanging out outside one day when she's like 15, just, I don't know, like staring at the grass or doing whatever
they do.
There's no grass.
She's good looking and quite voluptuous. 15-year-old. A regiment of soldiers come along and they're like, hey, so you want to come hang out with us?
No.
And she's like, yeah, that sounds great.
No,
so
baby.
she becomes the regiment's entertainment, pretty much, which is fucking terrible. But she's a working girl. She's using it. She's like, I do this, but also on the side, I'm studying to get my domestic license.
Okay.
So
What is it?
she's going to moving on up. Yeah, you have to get like certified or pretty much. So, you know,
Going to maid college.
Yeah.
she alternates between sex work and domestic service to earn her living. She looked after the needs of this group of army officers at Great Umbersley in Worcestershire, until they tired of her services. Now at the ripe old age of 23.
Oh, well, she worked that for a while,
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah.
That's a long-term gig.
Exactly. So she did pretty good for
She's
8
retired
years.
now, right?
Yeah, she's retiring. She's like, we're moving on up. She secures a position as a housemaid to a local gentleman farmer named Hayes. Mr. Hayes had 2 sons, and Catherine was soon able to seduce the older one,
God.
21-year-old John. John fell for her charms, and they married in secret in 1713 because she knew.
Yeah.
Catherine's
In
been around
secret.
the block. She's
Yeah.
like, don't tell your dad.
Yeah, Daddy won't like
Daddy
this.
won't like this, you marrying the housemaid. But yeah, he was smitten. So they got married in secret in 1713.
Good for you.
And lived in a cottage on his father's farm. Now they got this cottage because Catherine on their wedding night was like, hey, to her group of army people, she's like, wouldn't it be so funny if you like kidnapped him and forced him to enlist?
No.
Oh,
And so they
no.
did. And so then Mr. Hayes had to like pay the army to unenlist his son and then put them up in a cottage.
I would love, I know we won't know because no one cared about Catherine when she was born, but I am so curious about what day she was born because I'm like, what is your star sign? You know what I mean? I'm like,
No, she's a survivor.
Yeah. You
She's
are
also
sneaky snake.
some other things. She's definitely a sneaky snake. So
I'm going to say it. I don't believe she's an Aries. No, I know we get a bad rap, but I don't feel this.
Yeah, no. So sometime prior to her marriage, Catherine had also given birth to a son after a relationship with a local tanner. But they end up for the first 6 months happily doing their cottagecore thing. She's like, you know,
Making curtains.
doing okay.
Knitting booties.
Seemed to go quite well. But Catherine had a problem. She needed more sex and excitement than John could provide at the end of a physically hard day's work. So she took other lovers to satisfy herself.
Whole regiment?
The quiet rural life she and John shared also quickly palled, and she persuaded him to move to London. So,
man, she's really got her hooks in this, man. To be like, first of all, I'm gonna do what I want. So let's just establish that right now. I'm gonna do what I want. Secondly, I don't care if you want to live in the country. I don't want to live in the country.
Right.
So
we're not living in the country.
well, okay.
He's
So
like,
here's
okay.
she's 23 when they wed. He's 21.
She's his elder.
She's his elder. And also, she's had quite a different life than John. So I think she's more worldly.
Yes, more
say that.
Well,
yes,
seasoned.
more
More
savvy.
seasoned.
Yeah.
Yes. Laura is.
Zatarant.
Spice her up.
So they moved to London in 1719, and John quickly sets up a business as a coal merchant, pawnbroker, and moneylender.
So he's doing okay.
Okay.
He is doing quite well.
So it's the equivalent of one of those like shops that you see now that's like, we sell gold and we also do money orders and we also, it's like one of those where you can kind of go
and
in
I'll read your tarot cards. Wait,
yeah. We have a psychic in the back.
The business prospered and Catherine had a generous allowance and even her own servants. However, this was not enough to satisfy her.
Well, she is just always unsatisfied, sweetie.
She
really
keeps asking
How
John
hot
for
was she?
more.
She's got to be so hot.
They said voluptuous and good looking.
Yeah.
So I saw a painting of her. She looks fine, I think. But, it's fine. I don't know.
But I'm
1690 beauty standards,
Yeah,
you know?
the beauty standards were different. We don't know. That always happens. It's like, you're like, oh, this person was so hot. And you look at a painting and you're like, were they? Or was they? Bad painting? I don't know.
Okay, so she's just like, I want more. Give me money, please. Money, please. And this, so he responded, he's actually getting sick of her shit now.
Oh, okay.
So he responds, he's like, oh, you want more? How about less? I'm going to reduce your... So he's starting to put his...
Standing up for himself. She's not going to like that.
No, Catherine's not having any of that.
Honestly, however dare you?
Wow.
Inevitably, fights break out over this. The marriage is deteriorating rapidly. And by 1725, she actually talked John into taking in lodgers because she's like, we need...
I feel
it gives me more money.
That is a bad idea.
Gives me something to do while you're away at work all day.
Someone to do. Because I'm like, she is fucking around whenever they're not in the home.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to start bringing in like merchant seamen into your house?
Actually, young tailor, an 18-year-old.
She loves a tanner and a tailor.
Thomas
She
Billings.
loves everybody. Let's be real.
A little bit of Monica.
Yes. She's Mambo number 5-ing all over Thomas Billings. Quickly becomes her lover. So, and then John also is like, oh, hey, a friend of mine, Thomas Wood, he's a butcher. He needs a place to stay too. So Thomas Billings and Thomas Wood are both laying into Catherine.
I bet they are.
Laying wood.
Just laying that wood.
Uh-huh.
Catherine, you also can't, we gotta look, you can't have lovers of all the same name.
Oh, yeah.
No,
well, it makes it easy. Thomas works in both situations.
Poor Thomas, who's editing.
Sorry, Thomas.
Oh, no.
Thomas 1 and Thomas 2 are both her lovers.
Great.
One is John's friend. He's some friend, right?
Come on, this isn't the first time that she's fucked one of his friends.
No.
We have to believe that. Yeah.
Catherine decides she no longer has any feelings at all for John and wanted him out of her life.
Yep.
But instead of leaving him for one of her two lovers, she persuaded them over a 6-week period to help her kill him.
These men, I do
one
not
of them
understand
is
it.
Dude's friend.
What is going on? I don't think that I could convince somebody to kill somebody else if I wanted to.
I forget sometimes how powerful the pussy is.
Yeah.
Power pussy.
Yep. So perhaps fearing withdrawal of her sexual favors or moral blackmail, they stupidly agree to her plan. So here is the plan of how to kill John.
I'm sure it's a really good plan. I'm sure I'll have no notes.
Yeah. So she's like, boys, take him out to drinking. Sorry, I can't do a British accent.
I don't know what that
was. Take him out to drinking. And so they buy 6 bottles of mountain wine, which I'm like,
that's not strong enough, right? Or is it?
6 bottles?
6 bottles of mountain
milk.
Mountain wine. Milk. Exactly. And they're like, drink all this milk.
Yeah.
They drink beer and they make a bet with John. They're like, we bet you can't drink all that. 6 bottles of wine.
You're right.
Yourself.
You bet I can't.
And he's like, no, I can. And so he
cannot.
tries and he does.
What?
And then he is fucking wasted.
Just because you can
doesn't mean you should. And I just feel like it would have been more efficient to get liquor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you could easily...
I don't know. Something called mountain wine might be liquor.
I know. I don't know what mountain wine in the 1700s was.
Like
shine.
White lightning. Yeah, for sure.
He drinks 6 bottles and he's fucking wasted.
Yeah.
He stumbles off to bed And then they take an axe and murder him.
Oh my God.
Sir.
And their big plan is, because it's in the 1700s, not a terrible plan. If they cut off the head and yeet it into the Thames River, then no one would know, no one would know who the body belonged to.
No one's going to know.
No one's going to know.
know?
How would they
How would they
know?
know?
Doesn't have a head. Well, unfortunately for them, somebody was like, holy shit, there's a head on the riverbank of the Thames. And so at that time, they didn't have milk cartons. So they just put it on a stake in the middle of the town, and they were like, "Hey, does anybody know whose head this is?"
I was like, "What does milk curtains have to do with it?"
That's so terrible.
Yeah. So like
Hey, you know this
everyone's
guy?
like, kind of looks like that John
It's a little
dude.
bloated, but I think it might be.
Yeah. So they're like,
Johnny boy.
Catherine, where's John? And she's like,
IDK.
He's out of town for business. And then there's like this Mr. Ashby guy who's like, no, I know he's not out on business because we had an appointment and he wouldn't break his appointments. And so Catherine's like, okay. Here's what's really going on.
Uh-oh.
John got into a fight with a dude over his wife, and he killed that dude, and he had to run away and go in hiding. So Mr. Ashby's like, so is the head that dude? She's like, no, that's got to be somebody else. And so they're like, huh?
What?
This makes no sense. So Mr. Ashby's like, knock, 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 constables, something is afoot.
I fucking love Mr. Ashby. Mr. Ashby's like, not today.
no.
I'm not fucking having it.
I'm not having it. There's a head on the stake in the town square.
Yeah. And we know how shady you are, Catherine.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So
also, Catherine, sweetie,
honey,
keep it fucking simple.
Honestly,
when you're lying and you get into the weeds on like details.
Don't.
Yep.
We don't believe you.
Also, yeah, I'd be like, none of your business. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, none of your business. So constables go to Catherine's house because they're like, you're right, Mr. Ashby. Like, you have posed some good questions, and we think we want a question too. Well, they knock on Catherine's door, and she's like, just a minute. Hold on, occupado. And they bust in, and she is in bed with her 18-year-old Thomas lover.
Wait,
actually,
did I miss that he was 18?
He is, yeah. No, he's,
How old's her son at this point?
18.
No.
Because Thomas Billings is her illegitimate son. Shock and appalled. The constables are like, what in the hell is going on here? So they arrest everybody. No. Catherine is like, so...
I love that they arrested they're like, bring everybody
Bring
in.
everyone
Bring
in.
everybody
They
in.
brought everyone. Even like her landlady on the top floor, they were like, bring her in too. They rooped everyone in.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was, people were very yucked, disgusted, appalled.
Pretty squicked out on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so gross. So they're like questioning people. And then...
That was good storytelling there, Christina. I really buried that.
I'm shook.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, did she know? She knew. They knew. Parties were knowing. It's very squidge.
Oh, yeah.
So another thing, along with having the head on the spike in the middle of the town, the suspicion at the time was that if you murdered somebody, you would not be able to touch their body, their dead body, without being overcome by like grief or guilt. So she's just like,
touch that head.
She's touching the head. She's like, oh my God, my poor husband or whatever. She's like, touch. She's like Harlem Globetrotter. Like,
spinning it on her finger.
Look, see, I'm so not guilty. I'm so overcome by you. Just some sadness that my husband is dead. And they're like,
no, it's getting a little weird that you're
it.
touching that head that much.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
That's freaking weird. So they finally like crack her and she's like, okay, yes, I was involved. But it was because the devil entered me.
No.
And made me do it.
That didn't happen.
Also,
that didn't happen.
At that time period, I'm just like, that doesn't seem like a safe thing to say. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't think that makes it less likely that they're going to hang you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Now they're like,
oh, the devil's
came inside you.
Oh, perfect.
Oh,
we have a great
sign the devil alert myself. So yeah, they put all three of them on trial. Both the Thomases confess. And what's even shittier is that Catherine had an additional charge on top of her murder charge. Because at this time, murdering your husband was not just murder, it was petty treason. It was considered treason against the country because a male's life is so important that how dare you as a female, like how treasonous it is. So they convict the Thomases and they're like, you shall be hung and gibbeted.
What is a gibbet?
I don't like that.
I do not know. I didn't look it up.
I already don't like it.
I was like, I don't know what it is.
I'm about to look it up.
Yes, please look it up.
Hung and gibbeted.
I hate that.
And then Catherine was to be burned at the stake, which, you know.
Yeah, she's
at
a witch.
the time. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. They're
you
like,
get the devil involved.
yeah,
Kill it
that's
with fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the day of the execution, townspeople is like lit. This is going to be a big day because it's not just those three. There were like 15 other people. It was like WWE showdown. Like, we're having hangings over here. We're going to be burning a witch over here on this stage.
Gibbeting means to execute someone by hanging.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to be hanged and hanged.
Yeah. I think they just wanted to be fancy with their fancy words.
Well, they're going to be gibbeted then.
Well,
so
there you go.
there is a difference between a gibbet and a gallows, though. So a gibbet is, I think, something that you hang from that's not a gallows.
Oh, okay.
So
well,
it's a different...
that's good to know because whoever built the gibbet that day was
fucked up
because it ended up collapsing and killing two townspeople.
He had a big job. He's like, man, you scheduled 15 gibbetings today. I have a lot of gibbets I have to make. I'm tired.
So a gibbet is like hangman. Like when you do hangman.
I see.
It's like the...
I see.
As whereas like gallows are like the long pole.
thingies.
Got it.
Yeah. That man was overworked. If I was his lawyer, Your Honor, like
I didn't have enough time.
He's not part of a union,
right?
And they were working him to death. Okay, so it's not his fault that gibbet fell over.
So gibbet fell over, and then the main event, burning Catherine, went terribly too. Like apparently, like one of the things is like, you know, if they start screaming and stuff like that, they're like, well, we don't want the audience to be too traumatized by this.
You're just watching someone burn alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a bonfire.
Yeah,
it's just totally normal.
Standing out there with
life.
your candy apple, just enjoying the day. Yeah.
So that the hangman tried to throw a log at her.
Oh no!
Head to
That
put her out of
like
her
that's
misery.
That is horrifying.
It really is. It's
her head, burnt down the whole town.
Oh no!
That would be brilliant. But yeah, no, it just like kind of like hit her, but it didn't really do anything.
No.
So that the town is all traumatized by the fact that there's a woman screaming as she's being burned alive. And that is the story of Catherine Hayes.
The fuck just happened? There was that was the wildest ride. There was so much happening.
Twists.
I feel
turns.
like I have like
Whiplash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I will say from a lot of sources I read, they were so fucking, I'm like, I wonder what the truth is, because it's not like there were any like unbiased accounts. Like people flat out called her like a nymphomaniac and like all kinds of other stuff. And I'm like, I wonder how true some of this stuff actually is, because, you know, history is written by the victors. And it's not like, you know, we have a source from her. But yeah, it was kind of an interesting journey to read like all these old like newspaper articles from that time. And
wow. That is
a scream.
Oh, wow. I have no words. I'm speechless.
I think I screamed three times on that story.
There was so much. That story had everything.
Yeah. Yeah. we learned gibbeting. So there you go.
Yeah, we learned something today. The more you know.
Yeah.
So intense.
So what are you guys watching?
Well, I am watching. I just rewatched the last season or season 3 of Sanditon on PBS.
Oh, wonderful.
Because the newest season will be coming out. And I was like, did I watch this? And I did. And I rewatched it and I cried again because it's such a good show. So yeah, I'm excited for the new season to come out, season 3 to come out.
Lots of new seasons coming out in the next few weeks. Party Down.
I saw that.
It's coming back and will be.
I was going to say, wasn't that show gone for a while?
It's been gone for, it launched the careers of like
All of them.
All of them, pretty much. So, yeah.
I never watched it. Now I feel like I have to.
So funny.
I want to.
Yellow Jackets is coming back in a couple weeks too.
Yep.
Really excited
Ted
about that.
Lasso.
Oh yeah, Ted Lasso's coming back. I really haven't been watching. The last 3 weeks have been just kind of a whirlwind. I really didn't watch much of anything. I am catching up on The Last of Us. That's pretty much all I've watched.
Yeah.
Recently. Yeah.
Well, Cass and I both watched Stolen Youth.
Oh,
What is that?
man.
Oh, is that a documentary? You guys were talking
Hulu.
to me about that.
About a dude who started a sex cult from his daughter's dorm room.
It's fucking...
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, Hulu.
It's
Yeah.
fucking bananas. I actually heard that the podcast goes even more in depth.
Oh,
I'm
no. I don't know if I
scared.
want
I'm scared to watch that.
It's terrifying.
It feels
My
very
jaw
intense.
was on the
Floor.
ground.
Yeah.
It was
Why are people
so
God.
triggering. Like, to see that kind of manipulation up close is just like, and to know anybody can be susceptible for it, because it was giving me major shadow vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, very much I was like, oh, I see how they did that at Shadowbox, and that's how I'm like, there's a cult for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody can be.
We've always said it.
gotten.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man,
and especially
terrifying.
like depending on what time in your life and
Yes.
where
Well,
you're
that's
at
what
in
I
your
was-
life. And
When Christy and I were talking about this last week at the dog park, I was like, this is exactly right. He got he got these young kids freshly out of high school, going to college, probably never had, their hand slapped a day in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like had a really loosey-goosey childhood, and nothing wrong with that, whatever. Like, but they were at this place where they're like, I have to become an adult. It's now time for me to grow up. I'm sure their parents probably kept saying, oh, it's time for you to grow up. You got to be respectable, responsible, but never had any lessons in that.
Right.
So this guy comes in almost like a drill sergeant, but in a way that he's like a caring drill sergeant. Like, I care about you guys. I just want the best for you.
And this is how you're going to help yourself.
Yeah. And this is, you guys can't act this way. You have to own when you've done something wrong. You have to, really. And so on the surface, you can see how these kids were like, you know what? You're right. I do have to fucking grow up. I do have to act like an adult. This is my time to make myself better. I'm in college. I got to get my shit together. And
Then it just
that is so
fucking
sad.
snowballs.
And the thing of it is too, is that this guy, the guy who's basically taking advantage of the situation, I think just got lucky, because I think he also is in his own weird delusion that he spiraled them into.
For sure. Yeah, exactly.
It's so bizarre.
It really is. It's one of the most frightening
What's it
things
called
I've
again?
watched. Stolen Youth.
Stolen Youth. Okay.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. Well, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a terrible date story you want to share, go to our one-stop shop of website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much. Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.